And human rights activists in Kenya have decried the deteriorating rights situation in the country owing to a worrying spate of abductions, forced disappearance and arbitrary arrests witnessed in the recent months. Speaking at an event hosted by the Danish embassy, rights crusaders say if the trend goes unchecked, Kenya risks losing her international standing. The activists and envoys present have called on the government to clean up its act. Mary Morki reports.
Congratulations. No longer at ease and seemingly no longer a safe haven. The brazen abduction of the 4 Turkish nationals who enjoyed refugee status in Nairobi in broad daylight and their subsequent forceful return to Turkey was one that sparked national and international outrage. An incident that put Kenya on the spotlight for violation of human rights and disregard for international treaties. Prior to that, 36 members of Uganda's Forum for Democratic Change were abducted in Kisumu and returned to Uganda, where they were charged with terrorism. The most recent incident of a high-profile abduction on Kenyan soil was that of Uganda's opposition leader Dr. Kizza Besigye, who was in the country for the launch of Martha Karua's autobiography.
Kenya is not safe. We've seen in June how, over 30 individuals were picked, Ugandans, and sent back to Uganda. We've seen in October how the Turks were again taken back. We've seen how in November Kizza Besigye was also taken back. And this is an indication that if you're running away from oppression, if you come to Kenya, unfortunately and very saddening, you are not safe. Kenya will arrest you and will take you back to the oppressive regime that you're running away from.
This worrying trend of abductions was a subject of discourse at the Human Rights Defenders Awards hosted by the Danish ambassador in Nairobi, with activists calling out the Ruto administration for allowing foreign mercenaries to abduct nationals of their countries on Kenyan soil.
Refugees and people who even visit, that they should feel safe that Kenya is one country that people can go. But we find that, and very unfortunately, Kenya has allowed foreign agencies to come. I think what we are doing as a country, we need to revisit our foreign policy. For people to feel safe as investors, as visitors, they must be assured that they can walk freely without being at risk of abductions.
The envoys present expressed concern over the shrinking human rights space, saying human rights are a fundamental part of any democracy. The envoys were guests at the award ceremony in which several human rights activists who were vocal during Gen Z protest and after were crowned as human rights defenders.
And she shall forever remain a beacon of hope in defense of human rights and social justice.
Data from the Kenya National Human Rights indicates that since the June protests, over 71 people have been killed, 61 others have been abducted, while over 2,000 people have been arbitrarily arrested, with no one being held accountable.
And this is important because we need to acknowledge the hard work, the important work that human rights defenders are doing in Kenya every day, and we strongly support it.
Mary Morki, Citizen TV.